Heroes here, coming at you with a new story reading. It's about what if someone from the Hitman Reborn universe woke up in our favorite young hero, Deku, the Cryberry. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading it out. You can find it on fanfiction.net. It's called Hero Academia Reborn. But yeah, here's chapter 1, prologue. Hello there, my name is. I'm 19 years old, and my favorite hobbies are reading, watching anime, and running errands for the Mafia. Yeah, you read that correctly, the Mafia. You see, my dad worked as an informant broker for several Mafia groups or families, and all throughout, he himself wasn't a part of any family, or several people tried to get him to either stop selling information to their rivals or join their own families. Of course, my dad refused all their offers, which, as you can imagine, didn't sit well with some of them. So, when I was about 10, me and my mom ended up getting kidnapped by a small-time family trying to increase their power by forcing my dad to join them. Thankfully, a few members of a certain family were in the area and caught wind of this. This family was the Vangoghia, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, and most powerful families out there. The ones who heard about this situation were the famous sun and rain guardians Rohit Sarigawa and Takashi Yamamoto. They immediately saved me and my mom, and in return my dad decided to work full-time for the Vangoghia. I was, of course, in awe of the Vangoghia. Not only did two of their strongest warriors save me all on their own, but they also did it with no exceptions or personal gain. In my mind, they were heroes, and I wanted to be just like them. So after a few months of begging and pleading with my mom and dad, I was allowed to ask the boss of Vangoghia Dechmo, Sonoshi Sawada, if I can join the Vangoghia. At first, he seemed pretty shocked that I would want to join the Mafia family after what happened. But when he heard why I wanted to join, he got a small smile on his face. He told me that he would allow me to join the Vangoghia, but I was only allowed to do small, low-risk jobs until I was older. While I was a bit miffled at first, I was also just pleased that he let me join after all. For the next 9 years, I did odd jobs all over the place, helping the guardians with small tasks that they were too busy to do themselves, assisting the other members of the family with their jobs, and just generally running errands. That was not to say that my time was spent doing nothing, though. At 12, I started learning martial arts. Turning out, I had a natural talent for boxing, which caused Rohit to shout with joy even louder than he normally does. At 14, I was taught how to unlock my dying will flames. I ended up having lightning flames and a secondary sun flame, perfect for boxing. I can harden my skin and bones with my lightning flame and increase the power and healing rate of my muscles with the sun flames. At 16, I got to pick a weapon to learn how to use. I went with the familiar pair of gauntlets so that Not only would I not get in, not only would it not get in the way of boxing, but it would also reinforce them with my flames, allowing me to block with them. In addition, I learned how to concentrate my lightning flames into actual electricity running through my gauntlets, making them makeshift tasers. The gauntlets themselves weren't super fancy. They were just metal plates that went all the way from my fingertips to my elbows. They did have the Vangoghia symbol engraved on the forearm though, to show that I was a member of their family. And so my life went on. I was happy where I was, did as I wish I could. I did wish I could be on the front lines more. Definitely. It was my greatest dream to help people like the Vangoghia help me and my family. However, though, there was no point in trying to rush things. I'm sure I'll be sent on bigger missions sooner or later. At least I would have had. I would have. After all that training, after all that effort and becoming stronger, I died. Somehow, that wasn't even the worst part. How is that, you ask? Well, I have to say the worst part to be the fact that I didn't die doing anything cool or heroic. I died because of a drunk driver. That's right. I was walking through the city enjoying one of my influent days off, and when I crossed the road with the light clearly red, a drunk driver who wasn't paying attention drove right into me. Well, that's a shitty way to die. Why did I have to end like this? I demand a redo. This is totally unfair. That's what I thought as I died. At first I got mad as the world faded away and the pain disappeared. But after what felt like a few minutes, I just felt tired and resigned. Then a few more minutes passed, and then a few more. Huh? I always thought dying would be a lot faster than this. Where the hell is that light that's supposed to be to the end of the tunnel? Finally, right as I thought that, a light appeared. At first it was a tiny speck, but it rapidly started to get bigger and bigger, becoming brighter as it did so. As I was completely engulfed in the blinding light, at the last few thoughts to go through my head weren't sadness or anger, but rather calm. I wanted to help people like the Vangoghia helped me, but now I'll never get that chance. As the end approached, I closed my eyes and waited for it to all be over. Only instead of hearing singing angels in the background or screams of damned, the only thing I heard was a steady and frankly annoying beeping sound. Extremely confused, I opened my eyes, expecting to see the pearly gates or the fire and brimstone. Instead, I saw was a plain white tile ceiling. As I looked, I noticed I'm apparently in a hospital bed. Huh? Did the ambulance manage to get to me on time after I passed out? I thought as I continued to observe the room. I saw that the beeping noise was coming from a heart monitor to my left. Although it confused me was that all I saw. I'm pretty sure I broke a few bones when that car hit me. There should have been at least an IV bag or something attached to me. Deciding to investigate further, I tried to push myself up to the seating position, and that's when I noticed problem number 2. My arms are way too short. Unless this bed was made for giants, then I should have been easily able to reach from one side to another with only one arm. Yet, my right arm was barely able to reach my right arm rest. traveling my eyes down to my arm to the rest of me, I finally amend my earlier thought. Problem number 2, I'm way too short. I don't know how this happened, but I've shrugged. The only explanation I have for this, seeing how my torso and legs now appear a fraction of my size, I start to panic. As shown, the beeping heart monitor increased quite a bit, but I'm too worried to care about that right now. I quickly take off the little device they put on your finger to check your pulse, hop off the bed, looking in the mirror. When I hit the ground, I wobble, almost falling off due to the new size, but I managed to catch myself. That's when I see a small handheld mirror on the chair next to the bed, moving as quickly as I can. With my center of gravity now shot, I hurry and pick it up. When I do, I almost dropped it again in shock. The good news now, I have the answer to problem number 2. It's not so much I've shrunk, but rather I found myself de-aged into a little kid. Although this brings me to problem number 3. This is most definitely not what I look like as a kid. This body appears to be a green hair and eyes. Green hair and eyes, the likes I have never seen since the one time former lightning Acabeno Verde showed up to the Vangoghia home base. It also is fairly pale and has freckles. That's not such a huge deal when you consider my former appearance with dark brown hair, black eyes, tan skin, and not a freckle to be seen. It makes a very confusing image. As I'm sitting there, mentally stunned at what I'm seeing, the doctor opens the door to my room and slams it open and rushes in. Guessing I have a heart monitor of a kid to go from completely calm to raging and then to flatten line would be concerning. The doctor is rushed to the empty bed and around the room until they land on me holding the mirror. She sighs in relief. My, I'm glad you've woken up, little one. But please don't take off your monitor on your own, okay? If I wasn't still reeling from my appearance, I might have taken offense to be called little one. As it is, all I could do is sort of nod at her and let her lead me back onto the bed. Mirror placed back on the chair it was on when I woke up. Gathering my wits about me, I finally asked her. My voice was way too high for my liking and a little dry. What happened? She gave me a small smile and reached towards the end of the bed, flipping the clipboard. Let's see. Here we go. Izuku Midoriya, age 4, was playing with his friends near the river when he tripped and hit his hand on the rock. No major injuries or blood loss were brought in for observation in case of brain damage. At this point, she stopped reading the clipboard and looked at me, and then seemed to be remembering she was talking to a little kid, or at least a person who looked like a little kid. Well, little Izuku, do you mind if I call you Izuku? I shook my head, trying to absorb what's going on. Well, Izuku, You were playing with your friends and bumped your head. Do you remember that? Of course I don't. I have no clue who the hell this Izuku Midoriya is in the first place. My mind starts working overtime to figure out just what the actual fuck is going on. Absent-mindedly, I realize that the dog is still waiting for an answer, so I shake my head a little to look confused and concentrating. No doubt on my face. Seems like I'm trying real hard to remember what she said, what happened before him. Well, what's the last thing you remember? Maybe the tech department was written with a 10-year bazooka again and accidentally sent my mind to a kid in another dimension. Or maybe I hit my head on a car and now I'm in a coma having weird dreams. Or perhaps, oh wait, she asked another question. Well, I just shook my head again. Oh dear. Well, whatever happened, I guess we'll just have to roll with it for now. Either the tech department will figure it out or something, or pull me back to my old world, or I'm stuck here. Either way, there's no point in worrying about it. Just wait here, okay, Izuku? At my nod, she starts to leave the room, worried frown on her face. And that's when I noticed something I hadn't before. To wrap around my own thoughts to really pay attention. She has a tail. It looks like a cat's tail. And even looks like she has cat ears on top of her head. They don't look like accessories. And that tail was twitching as she walked. So, possibly for her to be a cosplay or something is pretty low. Unless wherever I am, has better costume tech than I'm used to. There you guys have it, part 1 of chapter 1. You guys are gonna have to tune in to next time to look forward to where this story goes. Will he find out why he's here? Does he even know where he's at? I don't know, but let's keep on reading. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. Stay tuned. Bye.